Okay, I was asked to make a video by Mr. Ron Evans, and he asked me to talk about how to push effectively out of the blocks and how to run better between the hurdles. Let's address the block issue. One of the best things that you can do to make sure that you're getting great push out of the blocks is to get in the weight room and strengthen your glutes. Make sure you're strengthening that posterior chain. Once you've done that, then now we go into the block aspect of it. And really, it's kind of a multifaceted type of movement because really, in order to push effectively out of the blocks, there must be some other mechanisms that are engaged in order for that to happen. Case in point, your hands. Hands, shin angles, and hip height. Actually, the shin angles will take care of the hip height. You get the shins in the right angle, the hips should be where they need to be, but the hands is what I want to talk about. Sometimes you get athletes that when they're coming out of the blocks, they do not have good foot to plate contact. You'll see the average sprinter when they're in the blocks, their spike plate is the only thing touching the pedals. What you want is you want that entire foot engaged into that pedal, because on that initial movement that you have on the push, once your hands move and the glutes fire, you want that full foot to plate contact so that you can maximize that elastic energy that you're going to get when that foot recoils back off of that pedal. That's going to be off of the back leg. As far as the front leg, it is going to provide the power and the push. The hands must move first. If your hands move first, it is going to activate and make everything fire in proper sequence. Most of the times you get athletes that when they're trying to come out of the blocks and their hands don't move first, they'll move to move, meaning that they'll have to put their body in a position to move instead of letting the shin angles be correct, hip height being correct, and when the hands move, it automatically engages the body. Well, I don't want to say it like that, but when the hands move, it puts the body in a position to where it has to come out at the right angle. Your shin angles are going to dictate your drive phase angle. And what I mean by that is you want to push to the post. You want to you should be able to draw a line from your ear to your shoulders to your hips to your knees to your ankles. And you want that triple extension, which means that you should be able to freeze frame the video and see the toe toeing off of that pedal and that ankle extended, those knees and those hips driving, and the shoulders tall, even. That's a little touchy base. Now, believe it or not, one of the things that I do sometimes to get an athlete to push better is I kind of just line the blocks up into the long jump pit, and I have them push as hard as they can without recovering that back leg, and just have them push as hard as they can into the pit and land on in the dirt. That's just one of the things that I do. Couple of other things that I do is, I pull the hips back when they're in the set position, and I tell them to resist me. Don't let me pull you. And when you do that, it forces them to engage the pedals. And if you're on the balls of your feet in the pedals, when you pull those hips back, those feet have to come back, or you're going to basically pull them back out of the block. Running effectively in between the hurdles. Um, that is a couple of drills that I do with that is, um, I don't even know what I really call it, but it's just like a super fast, quick step type of deal. But really, the key is getting that trail leg through. And sometimes you get athletes that have a slight hesitation over the hurdle. That's because the body is so symmetrical. The trail leg is waiting on the lead leg to make a move. So when you have a lazy or slow lead leg, you're going to have the same on the other side of the body with the trail leg. You attack. To run better in between the hurdles, attack the ground. When you're coming over and that lead leg is coming over that hurdle and you're coming down off of the backside of it, you want to pull that lead leg down. Pull it. Because what ends up happening is the more you attack, the more force you're going to apply, the faster you're going to move. I like to call the trail leg the gas pedal. When you get that lead leg over and you pull that trail leg through, when you put it down, you put it down. Don't let it fall, you put it down. And when you put it down, it's going to basically launch you. And one of the cues that I use with my athletes during hurdles is run away from the hurdle that you just jumped. When you're going over it, run away from it and get to the next one, and then so forth and so on. The key to running better between the hurdles is just simply getting aggressive on the backside. So, front side mechanics. Um, really, it all really just, hurdles are so rhythmic. They're sweet science. I love hurdles. But the thing is, it is all, it all correlates. Um, if you don't attack the hurdle correctly, then your backside of the hurdle going to the next one is going to be kind of hampered. So you really want to attack both ways. Um, so my suggestion to run better in between the hurdles is really work on having an aggressive lead leg, um, and an explosive trail leg. And if you have that lead leg being aggressive, then it's going to make that trail leg aggressive. The other one is what I like to teach is with females in particular is they do not run hurdles like guys. They do not require an excessive amount of reach. So one of the things that I use is I always tell the girls, just tell the hurdle thank you. Just take a nice little bow, just say thank you, and that is pretty much the amount of lean that you need. It's going to vary in height from athlete to athlete, but for the most part, that is one of the cues that I use. Uh, and with that, kind of doing this off the top of my head, so I think that without being long-winded, I think that's my tips and sharing is basically, yeah, that's about it. Um, so if you have any questions, hit me up. I don't mind the questions. I love it. But maybe one day, Mr. Evans, we'll meet face to face and we'll be able to chop it up. All right. Appreciate you. Deuces.